Hey guys, what's going on? We're back with another Destiny 2 video, and today we're talking about how the hype for Final Shape has just gotten a lot higher. Okay, well, maybe a lot higher is a little much of me to say. I think that the effect has been cumulative ever since we got the second and final reveal of the Final Shape with the pushback of the DLC and essentially a relaunch of everything, with Prismatic being added as well as the Dread being an addition to the Final Shape. And as I stated in a previous video, that some people should wait, and I still stick by it because listen, if you're not sure about it, you're kind of on the fence, maybe you've played a little bit of Destiny and you don't have the money, right? It's a big financial commitment for some people. Not everyone has $40 lying around, or you've been hurt by Bungie in the past and you just want to make sure it's not another one of those cases. Listen, there's a lot of good reasons to not buy into the Final Shape right away, but I'm here to say that there are actually some reasons to buy into the Final Shape. Yes, there's always going to be pros and cons of pre-ordering a game, because you don't know what's going to be in that final product. I mean, we have a good idea. I'm going to list everything here. So if you're on the fence, either way, you can go watch the video that I talked about how you should, because again, there are so many uncertainties. But here are some things that I'm just beyond excited about. The gameplay looks smooth with the new Prismatic subclass being able to transition smoothly between darkness and light abilities, as well as having your Prismatic ability to just turn into essentially a tank and just throw stuff around. Also, with the sub-class tuning, there's a lot of different things that are getting nerfed and buffed. Ward of Dawn is getting hit pretty hard, Well of Radiance is essentially getting nerfed into near obsolete territory, but you know, it's not quite there. It's still gonna have its uses here and there, but Warlocks, Rejoice, you're not going to have to be relegated to well duty anymore, and I know plenty of Warlocks who are excited about that news. Titans seem like Banner of War is not going to be the only good thing for you guys to use. And listen, Titans have a lot of different good things to use, but being able to combine everything, like good melee abilities from Consecration to Frenzied Blade with Thunder Crash as a super, I mean, listen, there are so many good things about different Titan subclasses. Being able to mesh those together is just going to make Titans a lot more dangerous in various activities. And Hunters, you know, Golden Gun did get hit a little bit. And so did Lucky Pants, so Hunters might be taking a step back, although they're still probably going to have a couple of DPS builds, ad clear builds, as well as survivability builds, whether it be with Omnioculus or Graviton Forfeit, that will still be pretty good and worth having around. I know, listen, the Weld change is probably the most significant thing coming out of this ability and subclass tuning. And listen, Warlocks have 4 other subclasses, and they damn well deserve to have the ability to not be relegated to Weld duty every time they're in an endgame activity. I know Stasis Warlock is really, really good. Strand Warlock is underrated and probably underutilized a little bit, again, because Weld is just so good. Of course, Voidlock has always been a decent option as well. Arc Warlock might be a little bit better with the changes, but I still think the other subclasses are going to be a little bit better. So, I mean, listen, just in general, there's so much that's going to be different in the Final Shape with Prismatic, the ability to have different abilities and from different subclasses is just insane, and that's just a phenomenal thing to add into the mix. For the sandbox is going to be crazy. It's going to be a lot of fun. And next is, of course, the return of Cade 6. Now, we did kind of get some information on how Cade 6 is returning, and I highly suggest you either watch a video or something on the Unforeseen Consequences ship. You can go read the lore tab in-game. you should probably read that before the final shape, because it does have some very important information as to maybe how and why Cade 6 has returned in the penultimate expansion. Of course, we all know that Destiny has been missing the comedic relief that Cade 6 provided, and no one has really matched that since. We've seen Bungie try with various characters like Finch and Nimbus, but neither of those really stuck because they were very tone deaf and just out of place, whereas Cade always felt a little bit better than those characters. That being said, that could just be a writing issue, could just be Nathan Fillion's a really good actor as well. That's not to say that the Nimbus and Finch's voice actors are not good. That's just saying that maybe we miss Cade. I don't know. Comedic relief is an important part of any story, and certainly not having a character throughout these past expansions who we relied on for that was a little rough. I think back to Beyond Light, Shadowkeep, the expansions that really were missing like a breath of fresh air. It was just all serious, no play, and I mean, I get it. It was a little bit of a tense storyline for both of those expansions, but at the same time, it just felt weird not having Cade around. I don't know, maybe it's just a me thing. I definitely could have introduced a different character to take his place, but the Cade and Crow dynamic is a really cool one. If you have not seen the cutscene featuring both Crow and Cade as Crow descends from the portal inside of the Traveler and engages with Cade, I highly suggest you go watch that from the Veiled Threats this week. Also from the mission, I believe, which is called Veiled Threats or something like that. Which is a cool callback to an old Destiny mission that we did quite some time ago if you're around for D1. And obviously Cade and Crow, or Cade and Aldrin, have a lot of history, so that dynamic is going to be really cool to watch throughout the final shape. And let's not forget, Sun Rising is happening. Any Sunset weapons you can pull from collections or ones that you didn't delete in your vaults are coming back. So that means even if you're a returning player or someone who hasn't played in years and you have weapons sitting in your vault that you did not get rid of, then you can come back and use those weapons. And some of them are absolute bangers, some of them, not so much. You know, they've been power crept into oblivion. But, you know, there are certainly some weapons that you can get that will be new, as well as weapons from Into the Light that rival some of these old weapons as well. And the UI changes, which are a godsend, because as we all know, if you play Destiny 2 consistently, you know that if you have multiple buffs or debuffs at any given time, it's very hard to know which ones you have procced, which one you don't have procced, and you're just confused. Do I have Whispered Breathing on? Am I sure? Did I hear that little sound when I zoomed in? And so on. But with this UI change, the buffs will be spread out across your screen so that you have a much easier you will have a much easier time telling what buffs and debuffs you do and don't have, which is just a quality of life change that will make endgame content so much better, because you don't have to worry about juggling 3 different things and knowing whether or not you have said things to juggle. So there's that. And, you know, just a little sentiment. Again, there are still some great reasons to wait on the final shape. You know, it's not a guaranteed to be a narrative banger. It's not a guarantee to essentially hit on all the notes that a good Destiny expansion does. Is it the penultimate expansion of this game? Yes, and the Light and Dark Saga primarily. Absolutely. So if you've been playing Destiny for any significant amount of time these last 10 years, I don't blame you for buying it, because, well, I already bought it, so I can't tell you to not buy it. But I can recommend for people who maybe haven't played that much over the last 10 years to maybe wait until after June 4th at the earliest to buy it, just to see the initial reviews and whatnot. I'm sure we'll get review embargoes lifted soon, so that the gaming networks and certain people who've had previews will get to tell us how good the campaign is and whatnot, and certainly that is something to be on the lookout for. But for now, we're still roughly 2 weeks away from the public release of Final Shape, and I know that I will try to get a review out as soon as possible. That release week is going to be a very busy week for a lot of people, with the Day 1 raid coming out just 3 days after the Final Shape. And I'm trying to spend these last 2 weeks catching up on other games. I just started playing Diablo 4, and I'm a little under the weather, so I'm also trying to spend some time healing, and allergies are just kicking my ass. Springtime, and my body was not prepared for all this pollen in the air, but here we are. So you might not see as much content from me leading up to the Final Shape, but I will try to put out a couple videos here and there in between now and then. You might just see some more shorts. I will also be streaming a lot of Destiny on my Twitch channel if you want to go hang out with me over there. I'll be doing some Pantheon later tonight, that being Wednesday, of course, May 22nd. That'll probably be around 8 p.m. for that Pantheon run, that Week 4 Godslayer run. Also be doing a lot of Coil, Master Lost sectors next week to get my character material ready for the Final Shape as well. So yeah, I'm excited personally. I've been counting the days for about the last month until the Final Shape, because my ADHD is very excited for the dopamine release it's about to get. And anyways, thanks for watching. Like if you enjoyed, comment what your thoughts are so far on everything we've seen coming out of the Final Shape. I know we've only seen a little bit. There will be also a Vidoc coming out tomorrow, as well as more TWID information. So listen, it's just a good time to be a fan of Destiny, because we've gotten a lot of banger stuff with Onslaught and Pantheon, and now we're getting all this information about the Final Shape and good things to come. So listen, again, it's hard to not be excited. Anyways, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.